Hi everybody, Toe again with Pulsar coming at you with another video. In today's video we're going to be talking about how to actually mine Pulsar using your computer. So we're going to jump right in and just get on this real quick. In the description of this video I will post this Google Drive link. So I'm going to go to it and we can see that I have some files available to download. So let's go ahead and get this README. Go ahead and click on that. Alright, so I put a link there for the Pulsar coin wiki. It goes to our GitHub, has some good information on there that I've been updating here and there. But we're going to talk about the actual mining software. In this video, we're going to be talking about the XMRig-CC mining software. So the native downloading algorithm for the Pulsar coin for CPUs is Minotaur X. And with that, at the present time anyway, there is an emission of a total of 100,000 Pulsar that are emitted on a daily basis. But Minotaur X will compromise a fraction of that, because we know that 50% of the emissions, daily emissions on Pulsar, 50% goes to the proof of stake. So that's already 50,000 coin taken off the table. And we also know that the curve hash algorithm, that is going to be allocated to 20% of the emissions, so 20,000 Pulsar, and Minotaur X is allocated to 30% of emissions. So if you're mining Pulsar directly using Minotaur X on a daily basis, there's only about 30,000 coin to be split up. So when you kind of do the calculations on that, and let's say there are dozens and dozens or hundreds and hundreds of people going after it, 30,000 divided by however many miners, how much powerful their CPU is, that kind of determines the amount of allocation that you are personally going to get. Now, when you go after Pulsar through when you go after it through Ghostrider, on the other hand, you stand to gain more than you would have made had you done Minotaur X. So what am I talking about? Let me just show you. So we're going to be using a software called XMRig-CC. So we're going to go ahead and just copy the link to that right here, making sure that you use something that's official, or at least something that I've personally tested and I personally use. So the current version of it is 3.40, and I am using Windows 11 for my particular machine here. So what I want to download is 3.40, and I am looking for, I'll just do this one, the Win64 right here. I'll go ahead and get that, download it, and I'm going to actually be downloading it. Let's see if this trips off any kind of virus scanners, because usually mine software it might. So we will download it. Dangerous download block. All right, so let's get around this real quick. So the first step, let's go ahead and set up a folder on off of the root. So let's go to our C drive and let's create a folder. And _mine. So we're creating this folder here, and this is where we're going to be putting all of our miners. So it's not enough to create a folder. We have to kind of inoculate this folder from virus scanning. So proceed at your own risk and only download software that you are confident. So we go into the virus and threat protection of Windows, and now we are going to go ahead and do the virus and threat protection settings. So we're going to manage our settings, and now we are going to go to scroll down, exclusions. So now we're going to add an exclusion, and we are going to add a folder to that exclusion. Which folder are we talking about? We're going to be doing that miner folder that I just created. So there's my C drive, there's the mine with the underscore, makes it go to the top of the list. We're going to select that folder. So now we are telling it to exclude this mine folder that I just made. So now when we go and try to re-download the executable for the mining software. So I'll go ahead and click it again, and now it's given me the option to like put it back in downloads. But no, we're going to put it in the C drive mine, and I'll just rename it just so it looks a little bit prettier. So now I'll click save, and okay, dangerous file blocked. Okay, once again, that's fine. Now we're just going to go ahead and go to the full download history. We'll click on it, and it's telling us, do we want to remove this from the list? Do we keep the dangerous file? Let's go ahead and keep the dangerous file, and we'll keep it anyway and show it in the folder, and there it is. So we're kind of overriding the safety settings, but that's okay. So now we are going to right click, and we are going to extract all for this XMRig-CC file, and we're just gonna not do anything, just extract it here locally. Okay, cool. So now we have the extracted folder, and we still have the zip, so we can go ahead and remove the zip. That's fine. So now when we double click, we have two folders. We have one that's titled Miner, and the other one is Server. So what makes this piece of software really awesome is that if you have multiple machines on your home network or on your network, and you install this piece of software to them, you can tell those other machines on your network to talk to a machine that you dedicate as a server, probably the PC that you're at most of the time. And so when that happens, you are able to monitor the health of the machines that are on your network from your server, and they're doing their own mining thing, but you can also push configurations to machines on your network from just your server. But for this particular video, I'm just using one machine, and there I'm just going to go ahead and just go into the miner. So we are now that I'm in the miner folder, we see several files that are in here, and the most important one is this one called config.json. So if we were to just double click it, it's very like default. So it has lots of default settings in here. Nothing's really specified. It's just going to mine to, I guess, the developer's address if you just click it and go. So before, we're not just going to go at it. We're going to use a file that I created on our Google Drive. That should make things a little bit easier to facilitate this process. So we'll go to the Google Drive link. Like I said, it'll be posted in the description. So now it allows access to this Google Drive link, XMRig-CC. So we double click that, and inside there we have a file in XMRig-CC default config JSON. So now if we were to click on that, we can download it like here. So yeah, just download anyway. It's just a textual file. So we're going to go ahead and stash it away in this miner folder that contains the config JSON from earlier. So we'll go ahead and save that. And now it's done. It's there. Okay, cool. So now we can kind of look at that, and here it is. Here's this guy right here. So for the sake of housekeeping, we can go ahead and push F2. We're going to rename this to like underscore config.json. Go ahead and save it. Okay, new file name. And this guy here, this one that you downloaded from our Google Drive, this already has some settings made for you. So like I was saying earlier, we can obtain Pulsar using the ghost hash algorithm. And so here there are two places that do like profit switching pools. So we're going to take advantage of these profit switching pools. And here is my address that I've been using. So I'll go ahead and copy that. And in here we can see under pools that the algo is Ghostrider, and the URL, the stratum NA North America raptorhash.net port 6900, and that's pool number one. and pool number 2 is set at Stratum TCP at miningpools.pro at port 5477. So in either case, this is what we're going to do. See where I say Pulsar address? Okay, we're going to go ahead and copy your particular wallet address, the address that's going to be receiving the funds, and we're going to stash it right there. Now, the machine ID, this becomes useful whenever you have multiple machines and you want to individuate them when you get on the pool site and you're trying to see how much hash rate each machine is contributing. So you differentiate the various machines on your network that doing the hashing by changing the machine ID up. But in my particular case, I only have the one machine that I'm sitting at, so this really isn't too much of an issue, but I'll just go ahead and designate it as Texas. And we're going to go ahead and do the same procedure for this second pool. So there's 2 pools active, or can be active. So what's interesting here, and why I'm just saying use these 2 pools, is because if pool number 1, which in this case is the Raptor hash pool, if for some reason it encounters an error and it's not unable to send hash rate, your machine is not able to communicate with the pool, well, it's going to retry communication 5 times. After the 5th attempt, if it still fails to communicate, well, it's going to roll over to the secondary pool, which is the miningpools.pro. And with this miningpools.pro, the difference here is that you actually have to type in the word pass C equals PLSR to get the to be paid out in Pulsar. With the Raptor hash pool number 1, you don't have to do that. And so I included both pools, and you can go ahead and select, you can switch it up where you have to pay real attention when you're messing around with the config.json. So let's say you wanted mining pools to be your primary pool, the first selector. So you would go ahead and paste it to the top. I added a comma, and then I am going to remove its entry down below, and I'm going to make sure that there's no comma at the end of these curly brackets. So I'm using Notepad++, so it kind of beatifies this. So pools, it opens up with the bracket here. We have the open bracket curly, close bracket curly, comma to let you know there's a secondary. So open bracket curly, close bracket curly. There's no comma here, and it closes. You can see how it highlights the close bracket. See when it's highlighted red with this open bracket here. So this is the way to make sure that your JSON config file is working just fine. But in my particular case, I'm in the middle of an experiment. I'm usually on miningpools.pro, but I'm doing a Raptor hash experiment like as we speak. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of put it back the way it was. So I got to remove that comma there, and then I have to add it here to the top and there. So that's kind of like the way I found it. So that's cool. That's good enough. And so now we're going to actually do a save as. So we're going to do a save as the config.json file. All right, so that's kind of the way it looks. So now if we go into our directory and we browse it, we can see that here's the original. I just extracted it. I downloaded it. So I put the underscore at the front. I downloaded the one on the Google Drive as a template, and then I renamed it. When I saved it, I actually renamed it to config.json. So with this particular miner here, it wants you to run this daemon, XMRig-daemon.exe, as opposed to the actual executable. So when you run the daemon, what's going to happen is that it's going to measure your computer, how many cores you got, etc. But since I already designated in this config.json that we're going to be using Ghostrider, that's what it's going to source out. That's what it's going to use. And so these ports match up on these pools. They match up to the Ghostrider auto switching port for Raptor hash and the Ghostrider auto switching port for mining pools. So now when we click it, the daemon file, okay, so go ahead and run it anyway. That's fine. So you get to see a little bit on my machine here. Okay, so it's already communicating just right off the bat with RaptorHash using the address that I specified in there. And should it need to roll over to mining pools, it will do so. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and just revisit. So I closed it out. Okay, so now I'm going to revisit this the exclusion. So the virus and threat protection added exclusion. So of course, you know, this is just me going a little bit overboard over the top. So I'm going to select the folders. I'm going to select, go into here and select the miner folder. I'll go ahead and go in here and select that server folder. So I'm selecting all these folders, and I'm going to add a file exclusion whenever I go to C drive, the mine, and then I'm going to go over here to miner, and then the executables in this case is the daemon, and the executable for the folder is going to be the actual, let's see, what's up? Did I mess something up? Oh, it wants folder. I want a file. Okay, so file and XMRig-miner.exe. So I'll go ahead and do that. So I am telling it to let these programs just have blanket permission to run. And in addition, what you could also do is right-click on these executables and show more, properties. We could do properties on it and compatibility, and we can run the program as administrator. That's usually the most advisable thing to do. It opens up more options in the program and to let it run more freely on your machine. So properties, once again, so there's compatibility. So you can do change settings for all users. That's another way of doing it. And run this program as administrator. Okay, and right click and show more options. Properties, compatibility, all users, run it as an administrator. So now when I go ahead and click that daemon file, it's going to just run with maximum permission. So how do we measure this? How do we know that it's working? How do we know that the pool is actually receiving our hashes? So to that end, what we can do is we'll actually use our the file that contains your addresses, your address for your, so in my case it's going to look like, yeah, go ahead and reload it. It's going to look like this. This is my address that I'm using. So go ahead and just copy that guy. And then we're going to go to the different pool sites, and we're going to plug this number or this address in, and it should return the results associated with this wallet address. So we're going to raptorhash.net, and once we're on raptorhash.net, let's see. So now we go over here where it says wallet. So now we submit the address, or we copy, we paste it in there. Now we submit it, and I've been chugging away for a while using this address. So we can kind of see that it is mining different Ghostrider coins, and as it finds the coins, I'm still becoming oriented to this. But to me, it seems like all the coins that I find, I earn a percentage of. And it just kind of stacks the value here in this conversion table as I scroll through it. We also see, so I have other machines doing this, by the way. I'm running other experiments. So as I scroll down, I can see the different Ghostrider coins that I find, and I could see the value of the amount of the coin that I found because I'm doing shared mining in its conversion to Pulsar value. Interesting about this pool here is that I can automatically click this cog right here under custom payout, and I can decide when the pool pays me out. Now, as of this time, it has not, because I selected a threshold of 5,000 Pulsar, and I simply I have not reached that yet. Interesting also is that's the earnings tab. There's another tab right here that's miners. So when I click on that, we can see all the different rigs that I have that's pointed at the Raptor hash pool. And so we also see, Texas, that's you remember me putting that as my worker machine. And this is why it's important when you have multiple machines, you distinguish them and individuate them with their own machine identifier. Because here you can see which machines are up, which are down, and how much hash each machine is contributing. So that's kind of useful. All right. So now that's the raptorhash.net. And if you're in Europe, well, it's just easier to show you here. So this is like the reloaded config JSON. So it detected all my CPUs on this particular machine I have. Okay, but if you're in Europe, this right here is a designator for North America. And if I was in Europe, I would replace that with an EU. If you want more information on that, there's the Raptor Hash website that you can go through. So now we're actually going to go through this Mining Pools Pro. So once I go to Mining Pools Pro, this is the rollover one. So once again, it has that wallet. Now I haven't mined on this new address on Mining Pools. I do have another address that I've been using, but once again, same thing. You would put your address, click submit, and if there was an address, like if it was active, it would actually pull it up. So it doesn't show anything. Let me go ahead and find an address that does have some history on it. I'll be right back. Okay, so I found one address that has some history on it. So I can see I'm an active miner. I do quite a bit of mining. In fact, since miningpools.pro offered the auto exchange feature, I've been on this particular pool mining with my fleet of miners for quite a while. So if we kind of scroll through this, the information that it offers, that it's doing 3-hour payouts. Sometime in the future, the developer is going to add more customizable payout options. We can see that my experiment, I changed and sent my hash rate over to Raptor Hash to see if the multiple coins on Raptor Hash, if there's a better payout with those multiple coins, and comparing that to the payouts I've been getting at mining pools. So that's the experiment that I'm doing right now. We can see that for the particular pools, this one has GamePro, Yerb, Novo, Bitorium, SkyTier, Goldcat. So there's like a handful of Ghostrider coins, and Raptor Hash just have more coins at this time. So that's the experiment. If we go to home on mining pools, it tells you if you have SRB miner or XMRig or Wild. It has a little configurator right here. So you would go ahead and choose the coin and Pulsar auto exchange. So that activates sending the Ghostrider hash to this pool. It auto exchange it to a Pulsar payout. You can do shared and use auto exchange, yes. So it gives you the algorithm as Ghostrider -GR. It just depends on the mining software how they want it inputted, configured to get it. Pool is the Stratum Mining Pools Pro at port 5477, and Chief, the wallet, it doesn't have like the wallet well, I guess you could go ahead and put it right there, and then it'll display a wallet address for you, how it's gonna show up, and then password, and the password is C = Pulsar on this particular one. So in conclusion, go ahead and fire up XMRig. Go ahead and put in your wallet address. As you remember, to figure out what your wallet address is, or to get one, you would click receive, and this is the first one I generated, and this is the wallet address associated with this wallet's wallet.dat. So all the mining rewards come to this address. And in later videos, I'll post the results on the experiment that I'm doing to see if Raptor Hash does a better payout than mining pools. But until then, you have a good start on how to begin mining with Pulsar.